Well, one lawmaker in Washington today is getting attention for his new plan to cut down on potential violence. He is introducing a bill that would make it a federal crime to use language or symbols that could be perceived as threatening or inciting violence against a federal official or a member of Congress. That congressman joins me now. He is Democrat Robert Brady from Pennsylvania. Congressman, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
The bill that you are proposing, again, would make it a federal crime to use language or symbols that could be perceived as threatening or inciting violence against a member of Congress. My first thought, that the lawyer in me thinks it sounds very, very broad. You could run into First Amendment problems.
Well, we're defining it. What we're doing is expanding Title 18 of the United States Code, the same exact protection that's provided for a president. We want to be able to provide for members of Congress and the public. Remember this incident on Saturday, there were 20 people hurt, two elected officials and 18 non-elected officials. So you're also protecting the public.
Right, but you've got, speaking of Title 18 of the U.S. Code, you've got Title 18 U.S. Code Section 115A, which already makes it a federal crime to threaten officials, congressional officials, federal officials, or their family members with the intent to intimidate, interfere with them, and so on. So why do you need this law?
We're adding symbols. You can't put a crosshair, you can't put a bullseye on a member of Congress or on a member of Congress's district. Just like you can't put a bullseye or a crosshair on the President of the United States.
And why is that necessary in the wake of this tragedy?
Well, again, it will prevent, hopefully, that, I don't want to have to debate this issue again with you or anybody else down the road. It would be very advantageous. We can get out there, make this a criminal act right now. Hopefully we won't be back here having these conversations again, trying to deal with what's in some kind of nut's mind. That's my intent.
Well, I mean, everyone wants to protect our federal officials, and you guys sacrifice enough to go out there and try to do the public's business. I think the American people all know that and deeply appreciate the efforts, even though, they may not like the results in some instances. We respect what you do. But the question is, the question is whether this is getting dangerously close to stepping on people's free speech rights in an effort to protect members of Congress, because it's already a crime to make any sort of threat against them. And so now you say you can't use symbols. I mean, I assume you're referring to something in particular.
No, I'm just telling you that, our attorneys are looking at, it's not my intent or any intent of this bill to infringe on anybody's First Amendment rights or any other rights of anybody, freedom of speech. We're not trying to do that. We just don't want to be down here again debating this issue at another time when another nut may see or trigger, something may trigger for this to happen.
Yeah. We saw in connection with the last midterm elections, we saw obviously Sarah Palin had a map that's been criticized for using crosshairs, and I know you've been critical of that, so have some other lawmakers. The Democrats did the same thing back in 2004 with their own map that put crosshairs on certain congressional districts to target Republicans. It's been done by both sides. But the bottom line to me, Congressman, you tell me if I'm wrong, is that there's been no evidence whatsoever so far to suggest that those incidents or any incident like them had anything to do with what we saw on Saturday.
Then what harm would be putting that in the bill? Wouldn't be putting any harm at all. And it is on both sides. It's not a partisan bill. And again, we got to stop our bickering anyway amongst each other. We're setting a bad example for the American people. We need to cut down our rhetoric amongst each other. We need to be, we can disagree without being so disagreeable.
But, when you get, so just so I understand, is it just the symbols that you want to add? You don't want to expand the free speech, the limitations on free speech?
We are not infringing on anybody's free speech. You can call me any you want to call me. You could call a congressperson. You can disagree with them. You just can't threaten their life, and you can't put a life-threatening symbol up in front of their name, or in front of them, or in front of their district. It makes it a crime to do that.
We had heard reports that some spouses of congressmen and women are really getting nervous now. I mean, it does look like this was some sort of a madman. We have new evidence today that he was particularly focused on Congresswoman Giffords for reasons we're going to get into a little later. Not political reasons. I mean, the guy was deranged, but we'll get into it. In any event, can you tell us at all what you've heard about that, about the fears on Capitol Hill now?
A lot of the spouses, a lot of the members, yes, they were extremely threatened and they were fearful. A lot of the spouses. My wife didn't want me to go out of the house on Saturday. I still did my 8 or 10 events, doing one tonight, doing one this afternoon, and it's what we do. We can't be held in fear of doing our job and doing what the people elected us to do. But our spouses feel sometimes a little bit differently than that.
Do you feel like
and there was fear.
Do you feel like you could have at least one security person with you, sir? I mean, at least somebody looking out for you?
I'm not going to walk around with security people. I'm not going to do that. I never did it all my life in my 35 years of politics. I'm not going to start doing it now.
Well, listen, thanks again for your public service. I know this is a tough time, and we appreciate you being here and offering your thoughts on it.
Thank you. And my prayers are also with all those victims. Thank you.
Absolutely. All the best, sir. Congressman Robert Brady.
Barack Obama as a person is a fantastic individual, but Barack Obama as an idea marks an evolutionary flashpoint for humanity.